What's going on, everybody? Kevin Epps here, Digital Brilliance Hour, with another game walkthrough and tutorial at the same time. So it's kind of going to be a multi-faceted video, multi-purpose video. This game right here is Escape of the Ages. This is another game that was created via the students of Digital Brilliance Hour. I think we created this back in 2020, maybe the fall of 2020. We're actually going to be coming back to this game to develop more and to make it into more of a complete game. Right now this is more of a demo, and I'm actually going to play through it, and I'm going to speak on a portion of this that other people have been asking about, like how to create cutscenes using scripting, and we kind of did something very similar to this in this game here. So I'm going to use this game to kind of go over that. So we'll go ahead and get started. So this is the intro. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. So we'll go to and I haven't touched this in a while, so I'm actually seeing this for the first time in a few years. So let me see what we did for how to play. Did we do anything? Okay, so we kind of kept that. One other thing that we did, this is a 480 by 272. This is very close to, like, 70-20 or 16 by 1, or excuse me, 16 by 9 ratio, the 480 by 272. So let's go ahead and just start. I'm actually going to go over that as well, how to set the camera dimensions of the game and stuff like that, because that was another question someone asked. So all right, so in the game, so we have the demo and we have the quick. I'm just going to go through the demo because just one stage and kind of takes you into the next stage, and then that'll be where it stops. All right, so we do demo, and as you can see, we have animated backgrounds that are being used here. So we used animated GIFs and converted those into models, excuse me, and used those in the background. And I'm actually going to I'm gonna go ahead and use. I'm gonna use this guy, Grill Go. Yeah, go ahead and use him this time. All right. So as you can see, it zooms in. There's like a little intro that I used to kind of showcase the start, and you're left off where you're at the bottom of this tower. You're all the way in the dungeon. You wake up here. And so this area you can use to train and use your moves to kind of train and get familiar with everything. So this is when you continue pressing the A, and then you have the S key to do the quick dash, or parry, if you will. I guess it's more, I guess dash or parry, I guess. There's no down, down, up, up parry on here, just only the forward dash or forward roll, and the other character has the same move set as well. All right, then we have the jump kick. Right now I don't have anything to use my special move, but you also have the Z. You can also see the instructions at the bottom there. So this is and you get to just play around with this rock and practice on the rock. All right, cool. I think we got, we kind of got everything. We got the jump and everything. All right. So train with moves, and then we're gonna leave by breaking the barrel. So go ahead and So when we get to this part, you see that there's a attack 1 and pick up. So there's a little animation that is coupled with this item. So we'll go ahead and attack 1. So, you know, kind of really spell things out. So now we gotta get out of here, right? All right. There's still a juggle on here. So there's still a juggle on here. So, all right. And we have the run attack as well. All right. So we just finally left the room. Ooh, I love the juggle. Oh, I should have kept it going. Okay. There we go. Oh, dog, I got him. Thought I got him with that one. All right, so. All right, Eric. Now, I wish I actually. Oh, we got out of that corner. There we go. I was able to dodge with it. All right. And I believe I can still. Oh. I could. Okay, yeah. So I can still roll and. So let's see if he does it again. All right. Yeah. So. Oh, all right. I forgot how fun it was to play with these characters. All right, we'll come back over here. All right. Ooh. Dog, I meant to hit it again. Alright, alright. Okay. Dog. Okay. Got him. I think I got one. Okay, good. I couldn't. Alright, and oh, okay. I already killed him. Okay. Oh. I hit that. Alright. Get some. Alright. Alright. Okay. Yes, he has a very funny run. This is what the students picked. Alright. Had a kick in that face. Let me move this. Oh, okay. All right. So I think here is where the intro is. And I think this is where you use Simon Says. You got to enter in the same keys. So it's down, left, attack 1, which is A, attack 2, which is S, right, up. So down, left, A, S, right, up. All right. So, and we're probably going to do this slightly better. But yeah, we try to kind of incorporate a different kind of gameplay, some little puzzles and stuff. that we want to do. And then we have the boss of this stage on the first floor. Oh, wrong one. Oh. Yeah, he fall a little too fast. Okay. Oh. Oh. It's kind of weird not having the down, down, up, up. But we'll fix that. Yeah, so we again. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, that takes some of my energy. Didn't realize that. Forgot about that. Oh well. Oh. Oh. He keep doing that kick when I'm actually trying to dash. Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay. Oh. All right. He runs very fast. He walks slow. All right. So once I beat him, he leaves an item for you to pick up. This item is gonna give you your power up in your next move. So once you pick it up, so you got the power up, you have special moves. All right. So then it ends up here. So it shows you how you can use your next special move that you have, so which is here. All right. So no special yet, just only Z and X. All right. Once you're done playing around in your rest spot, you. Oh yeah. Also, I think hopefully you noticed once this stage started, you actually saw him perform the move to give you an idea of what it looks like before you get to play around. So yeah, so we'll go over that part of the code as well. So then we're gonna pick up the food. Stage 1 complete. So we got this animation in the background. All right. Thanks for playing the demo. So yeah, so this is the demo here. Again, I'll include the link to it in ChronoCrash and all that for you. But here you go. So that's the actual demo. So we'll go ahead and cancel out of here and go ahead. Oh, and that music that was played on the demo, that was done by one of our students as well. All right, so quit. All right. So now, give me 1 second. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to have the code up and everything, and we're kind of going to go over some parts of this that I know people were asking about. So I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So right now I actually have Sublime Text open. I also have OpenBORStats open. I have the game opened up, or at least the code for the game opened up on both areas. So let's get to it. So one of the first things that someone asked about was how to use scripting to perform like cutscene things of that nature. So if you look at the demo, order of the demo, so we have the tutorial area where it starts off with an introduction scene before you can move around. We can look at that. And we also have stages 1, 2, and 3, and then we also have the puzzle where there's a introduction of him walking up to meet the wizard before engaging in the puzzle. Then you have the boss stage, and then you have the next special stage or tutorial stage for your next move that you're able to get access to. So we'll actually just start there first. So we're gonna go to the tutorial stage. Let's open that up. So as you can see right now, we have so this whole screen here, this is the text that shows up, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, because there's a zoom out. So yeah, so we use the zoom. We use the zoom aspect. We spawned a zoom out. That's what we were able to use for that zoom feature. Then there was a focus, a health of 110. So we'll need to see what focus is. But the main part of this is this spawn empty. So I don't know if all of the, I don't know why the words aren't coming to me. That is really getting on my nerve. I think I must have a lot going on my mind. I can't ever remember what I'm about to say. But I think all of the packages for the engine, or the templates, I believe they all have an empty model, or you may have to create one. I know for our packages that we use, for our templates that we use, we have an empty model. But basically all you're doing is creating a model with an empty frame and setting that to, actually I could just show you real quick. And it should be, if we go to the models, it should be a none type, I believe. Okay, it's not none, then what would it be then? Not text. Is it text? No, not text. Is it panel? Not item either. I would imagine it would have been, unless it's enemy. Is it enemy? That is interesting. It should be none. Okay, that's very interesting. I'm just gonna look at every one of these. Then could have sworn it would have been a none one to put. That's really baffling me that it's an obstacle. Okay, interesting. All right, so we have an empty, which is an obstacle. We have a fall where you have the empty frame. So there's a chars, miscellaneous, empty. Again, I believe all packages should have access to this frame in data, characters, miscellaneous, and empty. And I believe this should probably already be a part of it. And as you can see, there's it doesn't loop, and it goes through these frames. Starts off with an empty, then it kills itself and gets rid of the empty frame. Then this does the same thing with the spawn. So this is basically only here to be an empty spawn to do other things with. So that's something to be mindful of. All right, so we'll go ahead and close this out. So as you spawn this empty model, you are then you can then apply an on spawn script, which is what this is. So this script here, inside of the level file, we have a void main, because this is the function inside that script, the main function. We're getting the 2 player property. We're getting the 2 player entities. There should only be 2 players, so this is why we're targeting 0 and 1, which is player 1 and player 2. So if there's a player 1, you need to make sure that you don't have a join anywhere. You want to turn that off. You don't want anybody to join during this, because it's a cutscene, so you don't want anything to happen. You're changing the position at 105.60. So let's do one thing real quick. I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to do the p-trans. All right, so 105, 160. So we got 105 here, 160. So it's somewhere around here. So this is where player 1 would stand, and we see we're changing the direction to face right, and then we're going to force an animation to play for this particular player. So we'll have to look at this follow. I don't know how familiar people are with follow. We'll talk about that as well. And then if there was player 2, if they both were here, this would be on plane 105 at 190. So 190 would be like down here. So they will both be on this side. They would face right, and then they would trigger the follow animation for this model, and we'll look at that in a second. Then you also have the tutorial text, which we'll look at. This is where you have the blinking information. You also have the rock here, which is this rock right here. So we have a very high health. And then we have the trash, which is a barrel. And then you have the tutorial meat inside, and this tutorial meat will have the text along with it and all that. So we're going to look at these things. All right, so as far as the intro though, so this is how you can actually, prevent. So you can use an empty to then do certain things to a character. Now, you don't necessarily always have to use a spawn empty as well. This is the way we used it at the time. I definitely know a lot more about how the engine works since then. You can also use each level has its own scripting that you can apply to it. So for instance, like I could have taken this, right? Let me open up the actual go ahead and open up the manual really quick. If no one's using that manual, you're never going to get very far. So definitely take heed to using the OpenBOR manual for sure, because you're not going to get very far unless you like spend a lot of time in that manual. I'm just waiting on this browser to open up. So let me do a new window really quick. All right, so we'll go to the, so it should probably, yep, it better come up because I spend a lot of time on this thing. All right, so again, if you want to be able to get to the manual, if you don't know how to get to it, you just go to ChronoCrash.com, go to the wiki here, and then here's the manual right here. I usually just open up the legacy manual, which is what this tab is. I haven't gone through the main manual just yet. I'm sure this is more up to date, but I typically just go here for speed for right now, since I haven't gone through anything yet. But so what we want to look at is the different script files that you can use for models. You can use levels. You have the ability to use script files for level files, different things. So let's go to the script part of the manual here. And so I'm actually going to go to, let's just go to script real quick. So script. So we have some engine defined functions already. These are native functions. You have the projectile, where this is how you can actually throw something, throw another model from a parent model. And then you have the predefined function. So this is kind of like, it's based off of, I guess you could say, C variant. There's a lot of C accepted and able to be written from within this engine, but it doesn't use all of C. So you have to be mindful of ensuring that whatever, if you try to do a Google search on C language and try to see if you can copy and paste code to do stuff from an actual C application or something, you need to make sure that the functions and the variables and the data types are all able to be used in this engine. So this is something to be mindful of. All right, so we have main, on destroy, on create. These are the main functions for each script file. So the main is the loop function, basically. Your on destroy is when you actually close out the script. When the script is done, you can use this function to kind of clean everything out, all the cache and everything. And then you have the on create. So if there's some special information that you might need to happen on the initialization of this script, you can do that on create. Okay, and then now you have event scripts. So these are global events that you can create that would basically latch on to a particular event. So a global script, you have like nlevel.c. So nlevel.c, this is a global event. This is a global script that you can create in the data scripts folder that would run anytime a level ends. And so if you wanted a global script for to house information that could happen every time a level ends, you would create a file, because I wouldn't assume that nlevel.c would be created. If it's not there in the data scripts file, you would have to create it. Once you create that file and have the main function on created, on destroy if necessary, then the engine would recognize and use this how it's intended to be used. So just because these are global events, it doesn't mean that they're created already. You may have to create them. So just be mindful of that. Look into the data scripts folder, see if these files are there, if you need them for some purpose. If they aren't, you're going to have to create it and write the script yourself. All right. So and actually, do I have an end level? Let me go here real quick. I may have one. So everything's in my build folder. So build data scripts. Do I have an end level? Yes, have an end level. All right. So in the end level file, so this just clears story. This is a very old version of the story script that's on ChronoCrash. So basically, at the end of each level, I have the main function. I'm including the information from the story script and just clearing the story, just kind of refreshing the cache for the story script. That's all I'm doing. But as you can see, this is the format and makeup of the file. And as you can see, I don't have every single file listed on this left hand side here. I have in level, I have key all, I have update and updated, and I believe that should be all I have. So yeah, just something to be mindful of, but that's how they're used. So now that you have a better understanding how they're used, then you can look at these different types. So you have the join number. The number represents the player number. So you would have join1.c to represent player 1.c, to represent player 1. So you can have a script that could run whenever the event of player 1 joins a game that's already in progress. Or key number .c. So you would have key number 1.c, which represent when player 1 presses or releases a key. So this script would then run when that happens. So we have key all when any player presses and releases a key, and here are the player indexes that you can refer to. So if we go to key all, this is only this key all refers to when the story script. So we have this story keys. Actually, let's go to story keys real quick. So script stories, story keys. So let's look at story keys. So if we look at story keys, we're looking into for the scrolling. If you want to skip the scrolling, you can hit the start key. So that's why it's checking for player 1. The 0 represents player 1, and the pressing of the start key. That's what you're looking for, and then it's going to jump to the next level. And then you have the dialogue skip, when you can use attack 1 or attack 2, which is A or S, to skip ahead on the dialogue. So that's what this is for. All right, so hopefully this kind of me going through this kind of makes it make sense a little bit more. Okay, then you have loading.c. So you would use this if you wanted to have some kind of special loading script. So you can loading.c. Anytime the loading bar appears on the screen, this is when this particular script will run, and then you can add some customizations. You have level.c. This is in conjunction with endLevel.c. This is when any level begins. So if you have something special, now this goes back to this goes back to all levels. So I'm gonna keep going. So any level beginning, if you want something to happen at the beginning of any level, so you don't have to always use the spawn empty and all that, you could have it here. Also, when a player dies, if you want something to happen when they die, you can do you can create a script for that, create a script for when someone respawns, create a script for when the score changes for a particular player. This is for the timer tick. So this is the tick of the the timer in the middle of the screen. So every time the timer ticks, you can have this script could run at a certain time. So you could actually let me look at something real quick. I don't think I have anything here that will target this particular player bit. So I kind of want to show you that real quick. So if you wanted to get, so these particular extra bullets here, this is telling you that you have access to this variant. And if you want to get actually pick up that variant, you use the get local var, which would be player. So you know how you've seen get local self, I think it should be get local self right here, get local var self. So this is a variant that you have access to from this particular model. All models have access to this local variant. So in this particular script, there is a variant that is available in this script that houses certain information. So this player houses which player index is pressing the key. So in this case, you have 0 through 3, And in the same place, you could have int, we'll just say int p equals get local var player. And so this would return a value of 0 through 3 based on which player has pressed the key. So that's how you're able to get this information for this variant. So same thing with time tick. If you wanted to only have something run at a certain time, you can use the same get local var time and then get the current value. So every time this time ticks, let's say you wanted something to happen at the 30-second mark. So once the time reaches 30, you could get the time using the get local var and then use an if statement to say if I'll just switch this real quick just for demonstration's sake. So time, so if we say if time is equal to 30, then blah blah. So this is when you would write in the code to do whatever's necessary at that time equals 30. So hopefully this all makes sense. Let me go ahead and delete all this. Hopefully this all makes sense. Then you have the update and updated. So update is very there's a minute difference, if you will. So I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. So when you have a loop, right? So think of a circle. You have a loop. Let's say the start of the loop stops at the top of the circle. And then as a part of that circle, there are other things that are happening in this loop. So there are a bunch of things in this game loop. So like different data points that have to be updated, the movement, there's so many different things that's happening in the middle of this loop. And so at the end of the loop, it then starts over, right? So it keeps looping. So there's a start of the loop and the end of the loop, and then it starts over again. So update is when this is something that you kind of want to do at the start of the loop before everything has been updated. Updated is, like I said, everything has been updated at this point. So it's at the end of the loop before it starts the new loop. So like if you wanted to grab information after a loop has gone through its course, that's when you would use updated to then be ready for the loop to come, if you will. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, cool. All right. So level events. Now we're going to talk about levels, and I'm going to pause at levels. We have entities and stuff as well, entity events, entity scripts, but we're only going to focus on levels in this particular video. So we have the key script. So again, this is very similar to the key script here. These are global, so these are going to happen regardless. But if you want to only target a certain level, then you would add this here. So you have the key script, corresponding players. So whatever number here. And where you would put this information, you would put it before you start spawning stuff. So above the spawn area. So if you had a script, and so you said key script for player 1, and let's say you created this script in we'll just say level 1 keys.c. Excuse me. So if you created this script, and again, this script is going to work just like these global ones. So you're going to need a main function and all those things to house whatever you're trying to do. I'm not going to go into do too much depth into the construction of the main function and all that. I'm just kind of going over an overview. And then we'll kind of look at what how the code that I wrote could be utilized in this other way as well. So we have the key script, right? I don't need anything, you know, for this particular one that responds to keys. Maybe in the puzzle one, maybe I already have it. I just haven't looked in a while, so I guess we'll see. All right, so that's one. Then you have the spawn script. So the spawn script is when an entity is spawned into play. So this happens when this happens anytime something is spawned. So an entity is spawned, this script is going to happen, right? And then we have the update script. So this is the updated script. This script is going to happen every time, each time this is updated. And this update is happening on every game tick. So every time the game ticks, this script is going to run again and again and again. So it's just something to be mindful of. If you want something to stay in tune with the stage, that's what this is going to do. So this is very similar to the update and updated versus update and updated. But you know, update and updated, this is for the engine as a whole, not just levels. This focuses on a single level, and you would target whatever script you've created. All right, so we'll pause right here. Let's go back. Go ahead and get rid of this information. I'm gonna undo. All right, so like I said, we have these. We have where this happens at the beginning of the screen. So now we're going to go to the follow of these players, and we're just going to use one because we'll use one player because they both have the same script for the follow. So we have, here's follow 10. So as you can see, you know, at the beginning he was lying down, so I put a 90 delay on them lying down for a second. Then they're going to quickly get up, and then I have this frame repeating for a bit. The reason I have it repeating for a bit, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning, the character you know, changed directions, so they were looking left and right. So that's what we're doing here. We're changing the entity property. We're using this command to call this function, and then these are the three parameters being used in that function. So change entity property of self, direction is going left, then right, then left, then right, and then we're turning off that whole no player join. So remember, before we turned it on, we turned the no join on to 1, and now we're turning it off from 0. All right, so that is that one. And then once this takes place, and then you're able to move around and all this stuff. I'll quickly look at the spawn tutorial text really quick. Spawn tutorial text should be a panel, I believe. Yep. All right, tutorial text. If we look at the idle animation, you'll see the blinking here. So that's the blink. So that's how you see the blink for this particular one. Tutorial title should be this screen here where it's blinking. And again, you know, there's many ways to do this, but this is how I did it for this one. The blinking, and then there is the tutorial meet. So this would be item. So let's go ahead and look at the item. Tutorial meet. If we look at tutorial meet, so here's where the text is going up and down and blinking. There's a better way to do this, but again, this is from 2020, so this is 3 years ago. So but yes, we see this happening here. All right, so hopefully you know, there's a better understanding. So I'm gonna move a little quicker. Move a little quicker. Oh yeah, also we do here's the update script. Here's an example update script. So if we look at data scripts level free energy, let's look at that script real quick. levels, free energy. So basically we keep the health at max health the whole time. So this is the update script. So every time the tick updates, every time the game ticks, it's going to keep your health at max health. So you're never going to go below max health. That's why your health stays where it is. So that's what this does. This update script keeps everything the same. So we get entity 0, 1 of the players, which is player 1 and player 2, and keep the max health. So that's all we're doing. Then we have the type 1 and direction of both, so you can go left and right. Set the time 0 so it doesn't really have a timer. And we used OGG and all that. All right, so that is this particular level. So we're going to close out of here, and then we're going to go to, and we saw some other follows, and I'm gonna go over that in a second. We'll go to the puzzle now. So the puzzle, as we can see, we see the wizard standing here. We are going to appear here and then walk up to where he is. So same thing. You have type 2, both, set time, there's no timer. And then we're probably going to also see, so we did zoom out again. We saw, oh, focus is the 2 black bars that shows up like in a movie. When something's important, you see the 2 top bar and bottom bar kind of appear. That's what this is doing here. That's what this focus is. And if we look this up really quick, I would imagine this would be a panel. Yep. All right. So we have, so here we go. So this particular one, we have the follow. And I think for this one, I think I used a video. I created a video and then converted that video into an animated GIF. And then this is why I'm able to see this a little bit more fluid. But again, there are other ways to do it, but that's what I did at the time. All right. So that's the focus. So let's go back. So then we have another empty here. But at this point, we have the position of both the player 1 and player 2. And again, we turn the no join on. This is going to be behind. It's going to start behind the camera, or behind the stage. So it's going to be off the camera, -105. One is going to be at 160, which is here, right here, and then 210, which is down here. All right, so both of those are going to be there. And so at this point, they're facing right, and then they're going to start the follow of 20. So let's look at follow 20 for the player. So follow 20 is this here. So this one has some scripting inside of this function. So here we have yeah. All right. So here we have we're going to be getting the position of this particular model. So again, we started at -105, where there's a velocity function that we're using. We're turning the subject screen to 0. We're using the an empty GIF before we get started, and then we're going into him walking. So now he's going to be walking. It's going to be walking over and over and over. And as we can see, we have a loop. So the loop, and then we start from frame 2. So when we loop around to 2. So it'll first go around, then it'll loop here, and it'll keep looping. And this will continue to happen until it's time to stop. And we're going to see that in a second. So the velocity function, let's look at that function for a second. Velocity here, this would be, if we want to see where this function is, we would see that in this animation script, and that animation script is set to data scripts and spawns. So let's look for that real quick. Data scripts and spawns, and here's the file here, and I'm going to do a search for veloc, and I think it was what was it called? Forgot that fast. All right. Oh, it was Velo 001. Okay. Velo 001. Okay, so it's not in this file, but one thing I noticed is that we've included animation.c in the animation folder. So now we're going to look there and do the same search. Here we go. All right. So this is from DC. DC created this where you add velocity to a particular model. And so for this model, you're getting self, the one calling this function. We're changing the direction based on where they're going, and based on we're changing. I'm sorry, the value of the velocity based on their direction. All right, so if it's facing left, then we're going to change that velocity to negative instead of positive, and then we're just changing the velocity to whatever values we put inside of here. So that's all we're doing. So the first parameter is the X value. The second parameter is the Y value, and the last parameter is more like the axis, the Z axis, the plane value, if you will. All right. So here we see that the first parameter is the X value. So this is the only thing. This is the only thing being moved. I thought that there was. Okay, we'll keep going. So we have 1.75 pixels. So it's moving forward with 1.75 pixels, right? And then once it gets to 239, so if we go back to the stage, we started at negative 105, and let's find 239. So here's 239. All right, so once it gets to this level, it's going to then launch another follow. So it's going to stop this. So it's going to stop this particular animation. So this velocity is going to stop, and it's going to launch 22. So let's go to 22. All right, so 22, we have the scrolling of the camera. Well, actually, so this is what happens when you reach the X value. So as you can see, we're getting the player number, we're getting the X value of where that model is, and there's a loop. So it's going to continue looping. So he's going to keep walking. So you see that this animation has the walking animation, but what matters is the movement. So now we added a second parameter, which is -4, which means that's going upward. So now we're going to be walking to the right and upward now. So at line, what was it, 239 or something like that? 279, I would say it was one of them numbers, but then you're going to start walking at the same speed, but then going upward in a negative, 0.40 pixels area or velocity. So then you'll be going in a diagonal. So you'll continue going into that diagonal until you reach 409. So 409 is here. So once both of you reach 409, and this is based on, we're only focusing on the X value. We're not focusing on the person's Y value. We've already determined where that value was from the empty portion of that. So where we have these here, the 160 and the 210, that's where they start, and then they're going to end up where they are based on their X value. So we don't have to worry about the Y value here. All right, So once they receive 409, which like I said is here, then the camera is going to scroll. We're going to scroll the camera. This is, I want to say scroll cam. Let me see if scroll cam is part of. Nope. It's not part of the predefined functions. So it probably would be here somewhere. Yeah. All right. So this, I think this is something I created, a function I created. So if you're in the level, you're going to scroll the camera offset. Or maybe it's I can't remember who created all these, but there's some I created, there's some that were already created. We got the offset of the camera, the Z offset, and the screen and the scrolling speed. So we're going to change the offset to 350. So let's go back. Change the offset to 350 and at a speed of 2. So that's when you see the camera go to the center of the screen to show both the players and the wizard. And then if player number equals 1, which if you're player 1, you're going to spawn the animation for the puzzle tutorial text and then the wizard title. And then you're going to then launch 21. So let's look at, we'll look at these two in a second, but both of these are really just the title, like the tutorial screen. That's basically what's happening there. We'll go to follow 21. So follow 21. So all this does is just allows them to stop. So I didn't necessarily have to do it this route, but hey, it is what it is. So this stop is bringing them here, so they are basically in idle and have been stopped. And so this is their idle animation. Keeps them locked in right here. So I've used 3 different follow animations to then animate a player and a model inside of a level. Once this happens, let's actually open up this particular level here. So we have, do I have an update script? Here we go. All right, so we have the update, the scripts level Simon, because this is Simon Says kind of. So scripts level Simon. So as we can see, here's the information. I'm not gonna go over this too much. I'm not gonna go over this too much, but this is the information about getting the input and comparing against the two, comparing the inputs that the player entered versus what the computer entered, which is completely random. So yeah, so that's how we kind of pull this off. But hopefully, when it comes to doing cutscenes, you have a better idea of how we did it. Yeah, using spawning empties and then attaching different scripts to the empties is definitely going to be key. It's simpler to do things with, and then you can create follows. Oh, one more thing you want, if you're going to create follows, if we open up, I believe, the models.txt, you want to ensure that you set the max follows. So for this one, I set it to 90. If I do a search here, let me see what the max follows default value is. Oh yeah, default is 4. So as you can see, I had like 22 and 20 through 22. So in order to ensure that you have more numbers to be used, then you give a max follows in your a higher number of max follows in your models.txt file. You can also do the same thing with these. You have max attacks, max attack types, max free specials, max idles, max walks, back walks, ups and downs. So you have, as you can see, like you can build certain animations for different scenarios. So you can have you know, you could do so much so much with this engine. All right, so let's see. So we have that, and I want to make sure I went over everything I said I was going to go over. So with those follows, and then there was something else I was supposed to go over. Actually, let me look back at this screen here. I think, we can look at 1.4 real quick. So 1.4, I think there was something I did here where, so I have this power up item. This power up item is actually going to be an end level item. So if we go here, I guess not. I guess it's going to be an item. All right, so power up item 1. If we open this item, so the did hit. Okay, so that's what's happening. So this is the blink of that item. If you have the did hit item.c, that's the script that's going to happen once you pick up the actual item. So that's what did hit script represents for this particular model. And this script is going to run. So if we look at that script, data scripts did hit and item. So as you can see, you hear some other this is some other things that happen. You know, you get the information, you load the samples, and then play those samples based on the type of item that you're picking up. So this is the did hit script is being applied to all of these models. So that's why you're able to hear the life up, full up, and all those things. That's why you're able to hear those samples. So that's what's happening for power level 1, power up item 1, 2, and 3. You hear the power up, then you hear the background music that you heard, and then the playing of that music, and I think the power up level text. We play this animation. So let's go to the power up level text animation, which is a text, should be a text model. So we got the power up level text, and then we have this blinking text that shows up, and then there's the jump to the next screen. Okay, so once this does all the blinking and everything, then it's going to jump, and then that'll take you to the next stage, and then we'll see a very similar shot of what happened in the tutorial stage. So we have all this again. We got the free energy again. We have the empty again, where we are again running that follow 11 again. So when they're looking left and right, so we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again for this particular intro or tutorial for the stage that would come up. So hopefully this has helped. I kind of wanted to kind of go over this whole thing. Perhaps I'll do a video on follows. I mean, this is just one way that you can use these follows. We kind of just use them this way, but perhaps I'll do a video on like how follows are supposed to work, their intended purpose based on the documentation. So I'll do that as well. But if there are any questions, definitely ask those in the comment section, and I'll respond when I can. Like I said, life is always lifing, but I'll respond when I can. And I hope y'all have a blessed day, and stay blessed and stay brilliant. Peace.